here we are. Uh, it's me, Jamie Murphy, CEO of Cyber Business Growth, and we're on my podcast. Amazing. For me, this is all about passionately sharing stories, and hopefully we can all get something from it. We'll have a good time. To give you a bit of a background on myself, this is the industry that I purposely bumped into over 25 years ago. Um, I went through things the hard way. I think if you can call it the hard way or my way, where where I really struggled when I was at school. The only thing I loved was probably football and music. They were the things that I was really passionate about. Um, where I was more interested in arts and drama, less interested in writing off of textbooks and notebooks, and I found the whole process of school to be pretty tedious. Um, so I struggled on my vocation. I bummed around in loads of different jobs, doing lots of different types of things. I was, but that was all a great grounding for me to really, when I did find something good, I clung on to it and I was very passionate about it because I'd done all these other things, So I didn't take it for granted that I worked in an ice cream factory or I packed pens for a living or I worked for the Ministry of Defence quite unbelievably. These are all, jobs that are absolutely valid, but they weren't for me. So when I did find something in sales where I was lucky enough to deal with people, solve problems, build relationships, that was the thing I was always looking to do. The accidental thing came from, I remember sitting down with my dad, telling me, God rest his soul, that I needed to get a job because I've been through probably my 15th in the last 12 months, temping from one job to another, really trying to find vocation in life. Um, and I was reading the back at the Cambridge Evening News looking for jobs, and I remember filling one in for this company called Unipalm Pipex. No idea what that was. I thought it was a travel agents, um, and it was for stores assistant. I was thinking, what am I packing? I joined this company. My interview process was simple. Do I know what email was? Fortunately, I'd used that the MOD, or and the other question was, what football team do you support? I was a Tottenham fan. I am a Tottenham fan, and the guy was a Liverpool fan, but he forgave me and gave me the job. Um, and from those humble beginnings, I was very fortunate enough. The fortunate part, or the luck part, that I make your own luck because I made that happen, was that I was joined an industry which was at the start of a huge boom around the mid 90s. And I think the influences and the people that I worked with back then had a huge impact on my life. And people like Mark Norman, who ended up being huge mentors for me, watching people show a different side to them I'd never seen before, enable me to develop a career. And I often talk passionately about my journey from moving from working in the storeroom, which I loved doing. That was the hub of the universe in the storeroom. Um, Amazing Jamaican guy, Johnny Walker's, still in touch with him a little bit today. Great guy, Richard Haslop, and a couple of guys that even work with me today, Zoe and Vicky. Great experience working there. But my journey into sales was on my last day in stores, them packing me into a human sized box, taking me up in a lift, flow packed up in the box, and unwrapping me in front of the sales director onto the sales floor. Quite unbelievable that that can happen today, but that was my introduction to sales and the start of what was a very long journey to what I'm doing today. After my experience with Unipalm, I used that as a platform to develop my career and continue to work with amazing people. I was fortunate enough to work for some great businesses like Integralis or NTT, where I developed my career either working through senior sales roles, building teams, growing teams, where I finished my career working for somebody at NTT, where I was sales director. Probably the toughest job I've ever had to do, but was an incredible experience over that, well, putting the whole thing together, 20 years. But what I had learned was that I wanted to do something different. I wanted to use the experience, leverage the experience that I'd had, either working for what we call the channel or from a client perspective, what I could give back to the industry. Because for me, there was a huge skills gap in the marketplace and a quality issue. And I built CBG, or Cyber Business Growth, to bridge that quality gap. So, after 7 years of cyber business growth, I felt like this was a bit of an evolution. I look at the some of the content or some of the information that's being shared on different platforms, different social platforms. Some are really good, and some are really bad. In terms of, I think, in terms of their authenticity, I just wanted to create something where I can give something back, whether that is some funny stories or whether that's a little bit of information that somebody can use, whether they're in business or in a role. But the most important thing for me is to show people that you can come and do whatever you want to do, regardless of the vulnerabilities that you may have in your life, or the traumas, or the issues, that obstacles that you may face. Nothing can stop you from being yourself and developing whatever career or life you ever want to have. And if there's a way that I can show you a little bit of this through conversation, through stories with some of my friends, or some of the people in our industry, or some of the people in business in general, then I just really want to do that. I'm really looking forward to maybe having a few laughs, maybe bringing back a few more emotional memories, but more than anything, just giving something back.